Hello and welcome to this somewhat unorthodox, little bit different Thanksgiving Eve service. My name is Carly Gaith. I am the pastor of New Hope United Church of Christ in Jackson, Wisconsin, and Faith United Church of Christ in Slinger, Wisconsin. And I'm delighted to have you viewing this video. I hope that this video finds you happy and healthy, safe and warm. At least here in Wisconsin, it's a little bit chilly. And so I hope that you have a cozy blanket, something warm to drink, and that you settle in for this brief service, this brief reflection of gratitude. And how that plays out in our daily lives, what we can learn from gratitude, and how we can ground ourselves in the practice of being grateful and being thankful. So welcome to this video. I'm glad to have you. As we begin this service, I'd like to offer a song that often helps me to think about gratitude. It is called We Shall Be Known. It's by the group Mamuse. And this song talks about the people with whom we surround ourselves. And a lot of times Thanksgiving and the holiday season is about the people in our lives and gathering together. And so in the words of this song, I hope that you are able to remember times of gathering together with your closest friends and family, and that image, that feeling kind of grounds you.
We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now. And what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love.
So growing up, during Thanksgiving dinner, my mother always said, "Okay, now let's go around the room and say what we're thankful for." Her voice doesn't sound like that. I don't know why I made that her voice. I'm so sorry, Mom, if you're watching. But she was always kind of the instigator of going around the table, saying what we're thankful for, because it's Thanksgiving after all. It's a time to really think about all of the blessings that we have, the things that we sometimes take for granted, and really recognizing everything that's around us that is a gift to us from one another, from God. And I think as much as I hated it as a kid, I was like, I'm thankful for yo-yos. I'm thankful for Halloween candy. I'm thankful that this is about to be done and we can eat food, right? Like as a kid, you're just a little bit jaded maybe. But now as an adult, I think a lot about what a wonderful idea that is, to go around the room and not only each individual think about what they are grateful for, but then sharing that gratitude, because often we don't share our gratitude enough. You know, if someone does something kind for me or does something thoughtful that makes my day a little bit brighter, I often think to myself, wow, that was such a wonderful thing, like such a beautiful gift. But rarely do I say it to them, to that person, you know? And I think that this prompt that so many of us, respond to on Thanksgiving is actually a wonderful place to start in our sharing of gratitude, and is a great thing that we can do not only on Thanksgiving, but throughout the year, especially on days that are really hard or challenging for us. I think it can be a great exercise for us to revisit throughout the year, and I think it could change things for us if we let it. So I'd like to now offer some ideas about gratitude, some things that I am thankful for, and just a brief reflection on the ways gratitude is mentioned in the Bible. A week or so ago, we had a workshop about the intersection between creativity and spirituality. We had one of these workshops in October, but one person who attended found it so moving that they requested that we have another workshop in November that focused on the themes of Thanksgiving. So gathering together, sharing a meal, family, friends, and of course, giving thanks. And at that workshop, I offered an idea to everyone who was in attendance, which was to take 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or even less than that, grab a piece of paper and something to write with, and simply make a gratitude list. Make a list of everything that you are grateful for, big or small. The top of my list was coffee, followed by my wife and my dog, and some other things that were a little more profound and other things that were silly. But it was an exercise for me to just think about the things that are around me, simple things, small things, and also bigger things that make me feel grateful, things that I give thanks for, and things that I recognize as small blessings. And this practice, which I call gratitude journaling, started for me a number of years ago when my brother passed away. And in the thick of that grief, I felt like everything had been taken away from me, like my life was empty or hollow in some way. And so, in an effort to kind of reframe my thinking and recognize the things that had endured, the things that remained, it was suggested to me that I begin gratitude journaling. And at the start, I was asked to just write 3 things that I was grateful for. And some days it was easier to write those 3 things, and other days it was harder. But I always came up with 3 things. And eventually the practice grew and changed. And now I simply set a timer and write as many things as come to mind for me. Some are more elaborate than others. Others are simple. Coffee makes the list just about every time, as does my wife and my dog and my other family. But depending on the day, I am grateful for different things. But there's always a list. There's always, when the timer goes off, I'm always still writing. There's always more to be written, more to be said in terms of what I am grateful for, because gratitude begets gratitude. Once you start looking at and sharing in the gratitude that you feel, then others feel prompted to do the same. And so I think sharing in gratitude is a holy practice, a sacred practice, not only of giving thanks to God for the things that are all around us, but also in lifting each other up, especially those like myself for whom this time of year may be difficult. And so I think of gratitude as prayer language, as journaling about the things for which I am thankful, as lifting up those things to God, lifting them and holding them to the light, so that they can shine for me in the darkness. And I hope that makes sense. And if it doesn't, then that's okay too. But I am hoping that for those like myself, for whom this time is difficult, that through this exercise, through this video, you maybe feel permission, not that you need it, but that you feel permission to be grateful and to think about the things that remain, even in spite of and in recognition of what you have lost. To hold all of those pieces and to bring all of those things to the table and give thanks anyway for what you do have. To begin is a reading from Colossians. I went to seminary. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's okay. Chapter 3, verse 15. And let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts, to which indeed you were called in one body, and be thankful. The second reading is from 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verses 16 through 18. It says, "Rejoice always, pray without ceasing, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is the hope of God in Christ Jesus for you." Then, from the Hebrew Bible, Psalm 95, verse 2. Let us come into God's presence with thanksgiving. Let us make a joyful noise to our God with songs of praise. And finally, one of my favorites, because I grew up going to camp, and this one This one comes up at camp. If you know, you know. Psalm 118, verse 24. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Now, these aren't the only verses in the Bible that talk about gratitude and thanksgiving. There are so many others that I didn't include on this list. But the practice of gratitude is something that has spanned generations, something that people have wrestled with for eons. And I find that to be of great comfort, that I am not the first, nor will I be the last person to struggle with or think about or discern my own gratitude, especially in times of difficulty or when I'm met with challenges. And so these 4 short verses have helped me. I hope they help you. I hope that they serve as reminders for you. But they've also helped those who came before us, the saints whom we give thanks for, and our ancestors who had the same questions, the same yearnings, and the same desires to live a life of joy and a life of gratitude. And so I hope that these verses and many others that can be found help bolster you through good times and bad, through the ordinary days and through the holiday season. My grace and peace to you. Before I give my final blessing and benediction, I wanted to share with you one more song, and this song is called One Voice. It's by the Waylon Jennings, and I do hope that you find gratitude within it.
This is the sound of all of This is the sound of one voice. When people one voice, a song for every one of us. This is the sound of one voice. This is the sound of one voice.
So, my friends, I'd now like to give you a final blessing and benediction for this day. Though the work of gratitude is not always easy, it is a work that is salvific, a work that saves us from the depths of despair and helps us through the challenges and the obstacles that we face, both as Christians or maybe not Christians, and as people who are on a journey that is paved with pain and beauty. And so I hope that these reflections on gratitude, the songs that you have heard, and the prayers that you may have raised help you on this journey and help you to feel less alone, because none of us go it alone. None of us bear this journey, this burden by ourselves. As a benediction, what kind of pastor would I be if I did not leave you with the classic blessing from Numbers 6:24 through 26. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. I hope that you feel the peace and love of God on this day and on all days. Amen.